Hello everybody, this is Dr. Cole. Sunday evening, September 19th. Moving now into week 6 of Con Law, Political Science 3753 for the fall term. Everybody, what we have for you this week, we're looking ahead to the midterm exam now. The midterm exam was on the syllabus for Friday and Saturday, the 1st and 2nd. More than likely, I will move it to Monday, October 4th. That would be 2 weeks from tomorrow, Monday the 20th. For this week, what we have are the class notes for lectures 9 and 10, with 11 and 12 coming next week. What these class notes discuss is the federal government's taxing and spending power and its power over commerce, and the way those were exercised and the extent of them was changed significantly by constitutional changes that accompanied the New Deal during the presidency of Franklin D. Roosevelt back in the 1930s. Okay, so taxing, spending, and commerce power of the federal government, and also federalism issues, which are on the syllabus for next week, the last week before the midterm exam. All right, now, other than that, everybody, what we have for the upcoming week beginning tomorrow is a discussion, and we've sent you an announcement with a link to several articles. You don't need to look at every one of those. Look at whichever ones you may find to be of interest to you, maybe 2 or 3 or 4 of them, if not all of them. What we want to ask you is, do you think it is legitimate for the federal government to initiate things like a nationwide eviction moratorium and vaccine mandate, all of which has been much discussed in the press the past few weeks, and we gave you some examples of that discussion. Now, the last, maybe not quite the last century, going back to the 1930s now, a little bit before my lifetime, and a few decades before yours, saw significant changes in our thinking about how the country is constituted with regard to the relation between the federal government and the states, and what extent of federal government activity would be legitimate. Okay. The New Deal period marks some significant changes in that regard. So what we'd like you to do this week is think about, do you regard it, is it the kind of thing you want the federal government to be able to do such things as impose a nationwide eviction moratorium or a vaccine mandate? Both topics that have been much in the news lately with regard to the coronavirus pandemic. Right. Then a week from tomorrow, the 27th, we're going to take our last quiz, our third quiz for the term, our last quiz before the midterm. We've got a couple of Supreme Court cases for you to look at and a magazine article. All right, the cases are the cases of South Carolina versus Katzenbach and Garcia versus the San Antonio Metropolitan Transit Authority. Cases which both ended up expanding the prerogative and the authority of the federal government in the 1960s, 70s, and 80s. So you've got those 2 cases to look at for the 27th and a magazine article to read, an online article to which I've sent you a link. All right. So to wind things up before midterm, we are looking at changes that have taken place, you might say, in our thinking about the extent of the federal government's power and its relation to the states. Right? So we're looking at the taxing, spending, and commerce powers this week, federalism issues this week, as we delve into our third discussion this week, and we'll take our third quiz on Monday the 27th. With our midterm exam coming up, it probably will be moved to Monday, October 4th, a couple of days later than the dates of Friday and Saturday, the 1st and 2nd, that were listed on the syllabus. All right, beyond that, everybody, I do plan to be traveling to the area for homecoming this weekend, and perhaps I'll see some of you there. If you're at the game, I probably will be hanging out with Professor Maley and Professor Duran. I assume they will be at the game. They generally are. So perhaps we'll get to see some of you at that time. Other than that, we have a discussion all this week and a quiz coming up on Monday the 27th. So we'll hope you begin looking at some of the material related to that. Study hard. Perhaps we'll see you at homecoming. Have a happy homecoming, and we'll talk to you again a week from tonight at this time.